Will you all able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today the topic is types of inheritance. There are 5 different types. One is single inheritance. Second is multi-level. Third one is multiple. Fourth one is hybrid and hierarchy. As part of C#, hybrid hierarchy multiple will not support. I'll teach you why. Okay. Single means one base class, one derivative class. Multi-level means there are n number of base classes. I'll show you Visual Studio. Here I'm going to say sample multi-level inheritance. Okay, which is go and store in batch 3 course snippet. Okay, create. I'm going to create a 3 classes. One is father class, another one is mother class, fourth one is child class, third one is child class. Okay, I'm going to create 3 classes. Step 1. Step 1. Creating 3 classes in the hierarchy. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use class, name it as mother. I have mother class. Okay. And step 3, I'm going to create a father class. And I'm going to create a one more class called child class. Okay, sorry, I'm deleting. Okay. How many classes I created? So far, 3 classes. Now, in the father class, I'm going to have public int add of int x comma y, which returns x plus y. Okay. Same way in the mother class, I'm going to add a one more method, which I'm going to say subtract. Listen carefully. And in the child class, I'm going to have one more method, which I'm going to say multiply. Right? So each class has one method. Father class has add method, mother class has subtract method, child class has multiply method. If I try to create object for each individual classes, I can access only the property of that particular class. Now what I'm planning to do, father class should be inherited to mother class should be inherited to child class. Now see the difference. This is my father class. I'm going to inherit this father class here. Listen carefully. Okay. And this father class, mother class, I'm going to inherit in child class. Okay. So father class inherited by mother class inherited by child class. Now go to the program.cs file. Here, I'm going to receive two variables. What is the first variable? Int first number is equal to 0. Int second number equal to 0. Now here, first number equal to convert dot to int of 32. Okay, console dot read line method. Okay, so before that, I'm going to use console dot write line. Enter the first number, right? I'm copying the same. I'm going to say here second number, right? I received first number value from the user. I received second number value from the user. Now I'm trying to create object for child class. I'm trying to create object for child class. New of child. Right? Now console dot write line the sum of 0, 1 and the result is I'm going to give a proper naming, so that's why I'm going to use like this. Okay, comma, here I can pass first number, comma, second number, comma, child dot. You see, I have add method, I have subtract method, I have multiply method. All three methods I can able to execute. That means multi-level. I got my point. Preeti and Chaitanya.
Yes, sir.
Who is the fourth person? Hey, Pranit.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
How is your health?
good sir. I'm coming to Hyderabad, sir. So that's why I'm attending online.
Okay, where are you right now?
I'm in train, sir.
Okay. No. In which place of Andhra?
No, sir, not to Andhra. My native is Khammam, Telangana, sir.
Okay, you are in train right now. Fine.
Ah,
So this is how you have to call it. Now you go copy, paste, and say here subtract off, and you are going to call SUBD. And here you say multiplication of, and say here MULT. Okay. Now finally you are going to call console dot read line. Console dot read line. When you build the project, see the project will be succeed. No fail. Right? Now when you run it, it will call parent method, it will call subparent method as well as child method. It will call all the three methods. 12, 3. You see the result, it is calling all the three methods. Sum of two number, 12 plus 3, 50. Sum of subtraction of two number, 12 minus 3, 9. 12 into 3, 36. This is how you can got the multi-level method. Sir, what if I create a method object for mother class? If I go and change my object is mother class, when you build it, I'll get an error saying that child class property cannot be accessible. You see here what it is saying? Priti and Praneeth and Chaitanya, what it is saying? Mother
does not
doesn't contain a definition of multiply and no accessible extension. Or you got my point? It means that mother is not derived by child. Mother is only derived by father. So that father property and mother property can be accessible. Only when you go on. So multi-level in the sense, what is the concept of multi-level here? Second point. Multi-level is nothing but to derive n number of base classes one by one. One by one. Are you got my point? So what is multiple? What is multiple? For example, the same concept. I have a father class here. I have a mother class here. Okay. Listen carefully. I have father class. I have mother class. Now I'm trying to inherit the both father and mother in child class at the same time. How I'm doing? Child colon father comma mother. Okay, it means that multiple inheritance. Got it? You are inheriting two base classes in a single derived class. Okay, so what is multiple? Multiple inheritance is inheriting the n number of base classes, n number of base class in a single derived class. Okay, so this is called multi-level multiple inheritance. Let's do this in programmatically. I'm just closing the solution. I'm putting the solution as create new project. Next, sample underscore interface. I'll tell you why I'm making as interface so that you can understand. Okay. Now, if you go here, I create a class for the, oh my God, shit. Father class. Mother class child class. Okay, save all. Now in the mother public int subd Okay. I created a method this. Here I'm going to have a add. Okay. Now I build it. Everything succeeded. In the child class, I'm trying to inherit father, comma, mother. Right? Now you see the extension, what it is saying. What it is saying. Child cannot have multiple base classes. That means that your hybrid, your hierarchy, your multiple will be vanished out. C# doesn't support multiple inheritance. Clear my point, Preeti?
Yes, sir.
C#.NET will not support multiple inheritance because we need not to inherit multiple base classes into a single derived class. Sir, how to achieve this? To achieve multiple inheritance. Second point. To achieve multiple inheritance, we need to use interface in C#. Okay? We are going to use a concept called interface. I got my point. Let's talk about interface. First point, to create an interface, we need to use interface as a keyword. Always you need to use interface as a keyword. I got my point. Now, if you go back, let it be like this. Just go and say, instead of class, you simply say interface mother. Right? Now, when you build the project, you'll get an failed. Why? Because interface doesn't require multi-method implementation. I got my point. Interface cannot be a method implementation. So what you need to do? Interface only has method declaration. Got it? Hello? So the second point, in interface, we should not contain method implementation. Instead, we can use method declaration. Got it? So I'm declaring a method. How I'm declaring a method? This is how I'm declaring a method. Where this implementation of method can be happen? Wherever the child class, you see here, I'm going to use iMother. What is my interface name? Mother. Just go, use mother. It is expecting an implementation. You see here, it is expecting an implementation. When you click it, I got an implementation. There you just copy. Priti, are you able to understand? Priti and Pranit. Chaitanya, you already aware of this. That is why I'm not asking. Don't take anything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Preeti and Chaitanya. Preeti and Pranit.
Sir.
Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Preeti? Hello, Preeti. You are in mute. Preeti. Okay. So now I'm going to change the same in here. Interface father. Just listen carefully. Here also, I don't need method implementation. Right? Now you go back into the child, you see father is having an issue, asking to implement. I'll simply say return method, copy, implementation. Now you build the project, both will work. See, succeeded. What is this? Public is not valid. Okay. Method doesn't require any access specifier. Just go and build it. Now everything is success. Okay. Now go back to the program.cs. Again, the same story. Need to take a copy of it. Let me go and take the copy. Go to open containing folder. Go back. Where is sample multiple level inheritance? Here you go, program.cs. Copy this entire stuff. Now you see here, it will work. What I did, I got the first number, I got the second number, I got the first number data from the user, I got the second number data from the user. I created an instance for the child class. Now I'm trying to call all the three methods. It will work. But where the implementation has happened, is it in the interface or is it in the class? You see? Got it? Now the point here is, why do I need to go for interface in real? Sir, most of the time, whenever I try to create object, I'm going to call the interface. I'm not going to call the class directly. If you see in the real-time programming, people will create object for the interface. But here, we are using only object for the class. It means that the class, whatever the interface methods will be accessible. I want to create object for a particular interface. Example, father. So if you go and do here, saying that father, when you build it, it will access only the father method. You see there is a fail. Now you see here. Father does not contain a definition for multiple. Father doesn't contain the subtract. It means that when I create an object for that particular, see, object will be created for the entire class, but this variable is going to hold only the interface containing methods. Because if you look into my child class, may have two different methods, add method as well as subtract method as well as multiply method. But I don't want to create object for the entire class. Instead, I'm going to create object only for the father. Listen carefully. Child class containing three methods. How many methods I have in the child class? 3 methods. In that, if I create object for child class, I can able to access all the 3 methods. This is first point. Second point, when I try to create object of father class, I can able to access only the add method. If I create an object for mother class, I can able to access only the subtract class. This is the beauty of interface. Got it? In a class, I can try to call n number of interfaces. Tomorrow you can introduce brother. See, I am trying to create another interface. I'm trying to create another interface called brother. Something like this. Okay. In this interface, I am going to declare a variable enter div into x comma into y. Right? Now, if you go and inherit the same thing here, comma brother, it will work. N number of base classes can be inherited. N number of interfaces can be inherited by child class. Or you got my point? Even if you want to do an implementation, you can do the implementation. Return x divided by y. Now you see, I have father interface, I have mother interface, I have brother interface. But in the program.cs file, I'm trying to call one more method saying that division of. I'm going to call division of. I'm going to use div. It will not work. Why? Because here I made father as my interface. Now you run the program, it will work. So how many interfaces did I implemented in my child class? 3 interfaces. Father, mother, brother. 12, 3. Now you see, I got all the methods has been executed. Father class containing add method, that is your first statement. Mother class containing subtract method, you got the statement. Multiplication is under child class, division under brother interface. Now, sir, it's all fine. Now I want to create object only for a particular interface, which is brother. I want only division should be work. So what I will do, I'll go use brother. The moment I use brother, all these things are nullable. Only the division will work. Now you see, even though it will call this is basically a constructor. This is basically a constructor, but the constructor is not sufficient. New is the keyword is trying to create an object. Am I right or wrong? As part of oops, which one will create a memory for you? New keyword. You got my point? The new keyword based on this is going to create a memory. It means that new is going to hold only brother containing methods. Got it? So that is the advantage of interface. I can say using interface, partially I am achieving multiple inheritance. I won't say it is fully multiple inheritance, but I can say using interface, I can achieve multiple inheritance partially. Do you all understand online?
Yes, sir.
Others.
Yes, sir.
Now you see here, I got only the multiply method. Tomorrow, if I go and change back saying that, sir, I don't want brother, I want father. Immediately, what will happen? This will be strike out. This will be working. Just you run 1 second. This is the beauty of interfaces. 80 to 90% of your projects will work under interface. Now you see, method is coming or not? Tomorrow, if you go and change in child, it will access all the methods. So in a single class, I can hold n number of things. In single class, I can hold n number of things. So this is the concept of interface. Now let's do notes for that. In interface, we should contain only method implementation. We should not contain method. We should not contain method implementation. Instead, we can use method declaration. To implement method of interface, we need to use a class should be implemented. You should not say inherited. When you are using interface, you should not say inherited. The moment you say inherited, you fail. Always you should be implemented. Got my point? Fourth point is multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance will be achieved partially. Using interface. Got it? This is the most important point. Very, very, very basic point. Sixth point is to create an object of a class we can access all members of class as well as interface methods. All interface containing methods. This is one point. Sixth point, to create an object of a particular interface of a class, which had been implemented only those methods of interface will be accessed at runtime is known as interface. Clear? Everybody clear? Now tell me, what is the purpose of base keyword?
This keyword generally refers to the same class, so that there's no more ambiguity within the methods which we are showing.
One second. Hero, tell me, Hero. Chaitanya, tell me.
So I'm just telling that this keyword using we can point to the same method which we have within a class, particular class.
I said base, not this. Base keyword.
Base keyword.
You never know.
So base keyword is generally for when we are trying to use it for the private constructor things.
No. In inheritance, you want to pass your child constructor value to parent constructor. How you will do that?
We're using the
Priti?
base keyword.
Yeah. So what is the purpose of base? Base is basically used to pass data from child class to parent class. It's one of the interview question people will ask.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of base keyword? your answer should be like this. You need to pass anything from child class to parent class. We need to be required base keyword. In particularly, mostly the base keyword will work for constructor. Mostly the base keyword will work for constructor. Say the child class can able to create two parameters, whereas your base class may contain only one parameter. So how you will pass that parameter? With the help of base keyword. Or you got my point? So that is the most important topic. Now let me show you one thing. I'll prove you so that you can understand once again. Because I don't want to continue with the other topic, abstract and polymorphism. So I'm stopping here. So I'll do that implementation once again. Sample base. Okay. Now if you look into here, tell me which constructor will be executed first as part of inheritance hierarchy. Anyone can answer?
Parent class.
Come again?
Parent class, sir.
Yes, you are right. See, only Chaitanya is speaking and Suresh is speaking. What happened others? Why you guys are silent? Preeti and the other person. Renit, you guys are there or sleeping?
Yes, sir.
Are you sleeping?
No.
If you are sleeping, I'm okay. Renit?
Sir,
Sir, I am in train, sir. Right? Am I right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Just for funny. So now here, if you look into here, I'm using an add. Text command into y. Just go and make this as public method, then only I can able to access. I'm saying here return x plus y. Right? Now I'm copying this method. Go to child class. Saying here subtract. So now I'm able to access both methods. Now point here is here I'm going to use a constructor which has first value, comma, into second value. Right? Listen carefully. What I'm going to do here is in the program, in the father class, I'm going to have a protected variable, protected int underscore first value. Not here, should be in father class. In the father class, I'm going to use this. And in the child class, I'm going to inherit the father. Right? So now, first value equal to, you need to call that, no, save all, go back. I need to call this value here, and I'm going to use first value. Right? But in the second value, I want to pass it to my father class. The second value, I want to pass it to my class. So what I'm going to do, private, when I use private, what will happen? This should be second value. In the father class, CTOR, I'm going to use here a variable int second value. Okay, now here this dot second value equal to second value. So the variable, whatever I created here as private, can access only within the class. Now, if you go to the child class, you try to get that second value, this dot, you won't get that second value. Why? Because that is only accessible in the father class. I got my point. Whereas the protected keyword can be able to access in the child class. As part of inheritance hierarchy, if you make your variable as protected, can be accessed all the derived classes. The same first value, you try to do it in derived class, it will not work in father class. You can't able to use the father class. Try, see here, plus underscore first value, you won't get it. Why? Because it should protected variable always be your base class property. Protected variable always be your base class property. So you go here, cut it and paste it. Now you take the second value, copy this, go here, use it. Now you can say here, this dot second value equal to first value. Done. Now you understand what is the purpose of private, purpose of public, purpose of protected?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is private? What is private access specifier? This keyword will help you to restrict any method or variable within a class. Okay. For example, you are making a method as private. That method can access only within a class. Not only method or variable, even for constructor. Right? Because we see in the private constructor. One of the object oriented, we see the private constructor. Is it confusing? Is it confusing? Guys, please tell me whether it is confusing. Preeti and Praneeth. Praneeth and
sir.
Preeti, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Is it confusing?
No.
Oh. Now, if you make is public, I can simply write like this. Will access, will not restrict any method, help to access any method, variable, constructor within as well as outside the class. Got it? Now, if you make a variable as protected, this is more simple. Instead of the outside, as well as only the class derived by the base class. I got my point. So you try to access this variable, protected variable in your, now you see what is the point. And one more thing here, see now you in the program.cs file, you go create a variable dot child is equal to new of child assume 20, 30 you are passing because it is a constructor. Now, if you try to use child dot second number, it is not coming. First number, it is not coming because I restricted. The moment you go back to the child, say public. I'm making this variable as public. If you go and say here, second, you got the variable. When you become private, the variable can access only within the class. When you become public, the variable cannot able to access. Now your Default is private. Always be a private. Now here you make it as private. And one more thing, the first value I made it as protected. When I made it as protected, can access only in the child class. Can access only in the child class. You cannot use this here. If you use, it may not work. I think, yes, it is working. Thank you. Okay. Now you understand what is public, what is private, and what is protected. Now, finally, here you see there is an error. What is the error? Can you read it? I'm building. It will throw an error. You see. So what is the error? Can anyone read it?
Child does not contain
From
a
the online.
definition. Child does not contain a definition for second. No accessible extension method sec accepting a first argument of type child could be found.
See, the
Are you
point
missing a using
is,
directive? Or...
yeah, I understood.
Yes.
In the further, go to definition. You need a second value. But in the child, you need to pass from the child as a second value. To do that, we are using a base second. Chapari. ఇంకా ఇక్కడే ఉన్నాము. 11కి వస్తాను అన్నాను కదా. వస్తున్నా. So you need to pass second value. I got my point. Now this second value will go to the definition. It will come here. Earlier, if I remove this, it throws exception. It is expecting something. Now, when a moment I use this base keyword, okay, this base will try to go to the parent constructor by using the second value. Now, if you come here, simply say plus first number, this dot underscore first value plus this dot underscore second value. Okay, the same thing you are going to copy from here. I'm going to use here. When you build it, it will work both. Again, fake. Why? Okay. Here, I don't want to write the entire program. So what I will do, I'll go here. I try to edit. I take both. I copy the statement. Paste it. And then I'm going to use a child. Child constructor pass 20, 30. Done. I don't want multiply method. Now see the program. I'm giving 12, 3. You see? Twelve plus 3, 15. 20 plus 30, 50. Total 65. 12 minus 3, 9. Plus 50, 59. Got it? Clear? Chaitanya?
Yes, sir.
Let me put a breakpoint to understand very carefully. I'm putting a breakpoint here. See the code carefully. I'm giving 12, 3. Now function F11. Now what happened? If you look into the first value, I'm getting 20, I'm getting 30. Now, my child constructor is not executing the first. What constructor is executing first? My base constructor. And then I got the first value. See, I got all the values. Got it? So, in the simple example, I have taught you what is public, what is private, what is protected, and what is the purpose of base keyword. Are you got my point? So this is purely about inheritance. So the very first point, what is inheritance? Concept of creating a base class based on which to derive a derived class is known as inheritance. How can I pass a parameter from one base class constructor, derived class constructor to base class constructor, for which we are going to use base is a keyword. Clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Right? And protected is a keyword which will help you to access the variable only within the subsequent derived classes. Only within the subsequent derived classes. It's more important. I can't able to derive from the base class because I proved you in the child class I made protected. Will it accessible in your parent?
Your voice is not clear, sir.
Okay. No, what I'm saying, if I create a variable within a base class, derived class as a protected, can I access in base class? No. Why? Because only the derived class need to be accessed that variable. Base class cannot be accessed that variable. So that point also most important. Some people may miss that. Only derived class can able to access variables. Can able to access variables. We cannot able to access base class. Access variables in derived class which are declared as protected. This is most important point. I can twist you in the interview saying that, can I have a protected in derived class? Will it be accessible in base class? You should not say yes. You should say no. Why? Because the variable which you declared as protected should access only the derived class, should not be accessed in the base class. Have you got my point? Say as simple as that. You watch this video 10 times, you will understand all the concepts. Somewhat it will be newly thinking, but it will be more useful. Okay? Say object oriented, you can play like anything. All you need is passion to learn. Preeti and Pranit, Chaitanya,
Yes,
anybody have any questions?
no, sir.
If no questions, we can wind off. We'll meet you tomorrow. So
Yes.
tomorrow I'm going to teach you abstract class as well as polymorphism. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.